Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Frank Watkins, and welcome to my channel. I'm a core skateboarder, and I've been involved in academia studying psychology for a really long time. I'm now almost done with my master's in general psychology. This is where I'm hosting videos that I create, which will fall under the umbrella of Skate DNA, a project I've been working on that depicts themes of mental health that are present among skateboarders in our global community. My goal for this particular series is to talk to mental health experts, paraprofessionals, and regular skaters to boost this sort of dialogue in an effort to educate and bring this type of content to the forefront and mainstream of skateboarding. I'm also really inspired by long form content on YouTube and want to be able to contribute to the growing number of voices on this platform who use their work to educate the masses, bring hope to this generation, and enlighten others using the perspectives and research. In this video, I take part in the discussion with Brian Wood, a licensed mental health counselor who is also a skateboarder. He has some pretty sick clips in here. Please enjoy the video and like, comment, and subscribe because it would help my channel a lot. I'm glad that you are joining this growing discussion with me. Thank you to my sponsors Dogtown Skate, K9 Wheels, and Uncle Funky's Boards for keeping me rolling. Thanks so much, and here we go. Hello, everybody. This is Frank, and I'm here with...
My name is Brian Wood. I'm a licensed counselor, mental health counselor, and a professional artist.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here today, Brian. So I just wanted to start off with the most simple question. How did you first get into skateboarding?
I grew up in Barbados, and my neighbor, he skated, and his brother skated. I got into it because his brother used to make skateboards out of pieces of wood and from roller skates. So we just roll up and down like a sidewalk. We had a little crew um, with some of the best skaters in at that time. They used to congregate at this place called Quayside, and the skating was phenomenal. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that in my life. I grew up in a religious background. My dad was a pastor. I grew up in church a lot. My heart was always about helping people, but like that was not my first goal. My first goal was architecture, but I worked for a firm when I was younger, and I was like, this ain't for me. I had to kind of make a shift in my career, but I found my calling. Psychology was my calling, and I incorporated my art, my counseling over time. I figured out how to do that. But yeah, um, my heart is for people, always has been, and
Yeah.
I got into it through that. I think my first job I had working in a psych ward, and I ended up working there for 14 years of my life. That environment was very rewarding, but it was challenging as well too. I was exposed to everything, every diagnosis. It was traumatic. Mental illness is scary for a lot of people. People like talk about the word mental health, but mental illness is scary. Like 1 in 20 people deal with serious mental illness, and 1 in 5 people deal with mental health issues. When a client is in that state, they're unaware of their behaviors a lot of the times. I've been through so many situations like that before. And I remember there was this client, like he was a severe addict, but he had a lot of mental illness too. And every time he got admitted to the hospital, he would when he found he's going to get discharged, he would take the table and throw it at people, all the chess pieces, every single time. And he used to make everybody so upset. The clients to be afraid of him. They had a point in my life that was just like used to be. I got a set of it set at him as well. I was like, man, you got to cool out. And it was kind of hard to forgive him because it was a consistent thing. But for me, being where I am, my spirituality, I think like God was telling me, Brian, like, you got to forgive this guy. You know what I mean? Like, well, how many times I've forgiven you?
A really big question that I have for you is, did you encounter any clients that were skateboarders?
Yes, multiple.
Mm,
Um, and really good skateboarders too, because some of them I knew personally, and I saw their change when they had their mental health breaks in that space. For example, if somebody had a mental health break with bipolar symptoms, and I saw how excessively good they got, but they weren't in their right mind, and people would be enamored with how good they are. But when people are in this manic state, they just stay up and then some of them they just skate consistently, and they would do these phenomenal things, but then we have these crashes, you know, and uh, and then on top of that, they're using substances on top of it. A lot of skaters that I've come in contact with, not all, they've been through a lot of trauma, and they put their trauma into their skating. So meaning that they might not have like a structured environment in their family where they saw their mom and dad fighting, or they didn't have a dad or a mom, and like, you know what I mean? So they found a healthy outlet to put that energy into. And not every skater, like, connected to drugs, they just found an outlet. But even in that being said, I saw a lot of skaters go astray.
Right. So maybe we could pivot into a little bit of what you're doing in your career now, especially with Healing Art LLC. I saw a quote where you said the benefits of healing through art are that it helps creatively work through traumas, helps manage anxiety and impulsivity. I wanted to know if you feel like the act of skating itself has similar effects for people, and do you feel like it has some sort of similarity?
It does, because skating is art. In the brain, there are like three parts you try to focus on a lot, like the hippocampus and the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. The hippocampus really focuses on building healthy memory. So we go back down to the trauma situation. A lot of skaters, for example, like they have these traumatic things going on in their mind. So the skating helps so much because when they land in the tricks, when they have healthy community, people like screaming, "Yeah, you can do it!" Like, this community that skating is so powerful that it builds people's confidence and it builds sense of achievement. And all of a sudden, these traumatic thoughts or that they're having memories are managed better, by these great experiences. And the amygdala is connected to these healthy memories. So they had these memories of their parents fighting or some kind of traumatic thing they're going through their mind. And now they're having these healthy memories of like landing tricks and learning tricks. All of a sudden, they're going through periods of joy and happiness and calmness, where before traumatic thing affecting them, all of a sudden high anxiety, depressed, I hate myself, but the skating helps manage and balance that. My thing is, if you visualize it, you can attain it. Just the same thing with skating. I can visualize myself through this kickflip, but within that being said, you got to do the work, you know. And the biggest thing with a lot of clients is that they have a hard time doing the work. They're unwilling or unable to put the effort in. So when we talk about that word unwilling, as I mentioned, sometimes we don't want to do the hard work to stay healthy. We know what we need to do. So the arts help with focus, and it helps with staying grounded. It can help all people if they engage in it. And the engagement is key. Like a lot of skaters are creatives, they're right-brained, and they may have a hard time articulating what they really want to say. By them creating this thing, you can actually develop some healthy conversation. So the arts is another tool that can be used to help you visually see what you want to attain, but also to help communicate to the people around you. This is what I'm really trying to say. Everybody communicates differently. Everybody, and everybody understands differently. Throughout my college years, I would say finding balance was key. I see some skaters that can actually work a full career and skate and have all this balance going on. Like I was that kind of guy. The skating sometimes had to take a back seat for me. The things that I would say grounded me was my spirituality, a lot of Bible, having healthy community around me, good friends. The skating did ground me because I would say like I never really stopped skating, running. I would do I would jog as well. I wouldn't go to yoga classes, but I would do like yoga stretches. And I'm a big advocate for like, some people say I don't got the time to do things, but I mean for the things that are going to balance you and are going to help you mentally, you got to make the time for those things, even if it's for 15 minutes a day. You can do 50 minutes of exercise, or fix it 50 minutes, some kind of artwork, sketching. Do something, because if you don't do it, what's going to happen is your sense of achievement is not going to be there. Your confidence level is not going to be there. And you're going to find yourself wondering why am I not progressing? making the time to invest in yourself is key. Like I don't skate every day. I might skate for 2, 3 days in the week, but at least I'm getting some kind of skating in to keep me up to par. So having this balance going on is key, you know, um, for your health, to be healthy.
What advice would you give to young skaters as someone who's been skating your whole life, just like both of us have been?
I would say to be yourself and like don't try to be somebody you're not. I think there's a lot of people pleasing that goes on
Yeah.
because you want to belong. But skating is unique and it's different. Like I'll give an example. I was at this skate shop the other day, and this kid was like trying to show off in front of his friends. You know? And then I see him in this other place, and he saw me, and he was a totally different person. I was like, bro, I got something to tell you. It's like, dude, be yourself. People respect that more than you
Yeah.
gotta be lying to people. Don't lie to people and don't lie to yourself. People respect you more when you can be yourself, and then they see you're consistent in your life. You might think they're not like respecting you, but people respect you for that. If you're different, people can gravitate towards that. But if you stay in the mix of just being everybody else, because people are so afraid of what people think of it, they're afraid of being laughed at, and that's the
Right.
biggest thing. But be yourself. Be yourself for sure.
So, in conclusion, thanks B Wood for taking time to do this with me, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and made it this far, please give it a like, as it would help these videos pick up some momentum. Or just feel free to leave a comment as well. Have a great day.